start. All right, welcome everybody to Achieve 10X TV. This is Jimmy Yin, and I'm a licensed acupuncturist and herbalist, and here in Austin, Texas. I'm excited to have an awesome guest today. She is a meditation expert, Melissa Jong, and she comes all the way from Australia. And so, Melissa, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks, Jimmy. Hi, everyone. Yes, my name is Melissa, and I'm also a traditional Chinese medicine practitioner. I also practice acupuncture, but many people don't know that I also love meditation, and I've been teaching a style of yoga and meditation now for over 10 years.
Nice.
And so Jimmy was really lovely to invite me to join him to share some things that I wanted to talk about.
And so today what we're going to talk about, since of all this pandemic that's going on, we want to, help, we want to provide the community, our patients, our community, our friends and family tools that they can use at home, because a lot of the world, they're getting quarantined, they're shut down, the city's shut down, and everybody's got to be at home. So, that's why we're focused on creating, at-home tools that people can use to improve their immune system, improve their organ function, and actually, get through this whole pandemic actually even healthier than they were before. So that's why we have Melissa. So Melissa, just take it away. How does meditation help boost the immune system? Maybe you can explain what meditation is first.
Okay, sure, absolutely. So meditation is something that most people have heard of. And what I hear often is people going, I've always wanted to try meditation, but I don't have the time. Or I've always wanted to try meditation, but my mind's so busy. How do I get my mind to stay still? Especially because we're always busy, go, go, go. But this is the perfect person that should be learning how to do meditation. Often people say, I don't know how to sit still. How can you be so still? So I feel meditation is like any skill. It's something that we practice. It's something that we get a little bit better each time we sit down and attempt it. And what's so great about the type of meditation that I teach is that it's perfect for people that can't sit still, people who can't focus, people who find that they don't have enough time. All of these, because a lot of these meditations are actually very short. My teacher would teach these meditations because he said, we are householders, we live a very busy life, we need to get the succinct effect of meditation and feel that we have that ability to still our mind even for a moment, and then we carry on with our lives. So we're not expecting you to sort of be able to sit for 20 minutes or 30 minutes. We're talking some of these meditations are only for 3 minutes. And even in the pace of 3 minutes, you're going to feel a great difference in yourself. And that's why these are really important, and how these meditations happen. So what is meditation? Most people have this image of meditation is someone sitting at a beach and it's perfect and the waves are there and you're sitting in nature, or you can hear the birds. And we always have this dreamy image of meditation, and it comes naturally to us because when we're in nature, we automatically reconnect to ourselves. But when you're living a day-to-day life, you aren't necessarily going to connect with all of that beauty around you. And the idea is that we want to be able to still the mind. The idea of meditation is to make the mind feel a little bit clearer and calmer, so that the thought waves that are coming in aren't completely bombarding us. Like our thoughts are darting all over the place. And particularly like when we even just blink, our mind is like thinking a million things at once. So what we want to do is begin to train the mind to begin to slow down those thought waves and begin to assess what it is that we actually need in our life in a way. So meditation in a way is about basically learning how to clear the clutter in your brain. Clear the clutter in your brain so that you feel, even for a moment, that you feel a little bit connected to yourself. And what does that mean? Well, for many people, it may just feel like that they feel like there's a sense of okay, I can let go now. Or, I feel I can feel a little bit of clarity in myself, or I can hear myself think. That's another thing that people say as well. It's like, finally I feel better, or I feel more relaxed, or I feel like I was able to let go. So meditation is a great tool, and in a sense that you can use it in the morning before you do your activities, or you can utilize meditation at the end of the day before you go to bed to begin to clear your mind so that you get a very good rest. Yes. So go on, Jimmy. So you want to ask me a
Oh
question?
no, you actually pointed out. I was taking some notes.
Yes.
There's two great things that you said that I could see for the benefit of meditation,
Mm,
and actually, you said a couple of things. One is
mm,
about sitting still. Definitely, I used to could sit still because I used to play piano, so I had to sit still and practice for hours. But nowadays it's like I'm a go 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 person, and so it's good to know that you can meditate and not, have to be, it's still for an hour or so. A couple of things that you said is one of the focus is to be clearer. With the meditation can get your mind to be clearer, which I think is vital, because in this type of panic, pandemic situation, we need our minds clear. Because if we don't have a clear mind, then we're going to be one of those people that is at the grocery store picking up 5 pallets of toilet paper. And this it's just because we're panicking. It's because we're not clear up here. We're not thinking logically, right? And so clear is definitely one thing. And how, there's going to be people, many here in the US, many people are getting laid off, and you have
mm,
to have that
yeah.
clear mind. This is even more important for us to meditate, because we need to have a clear mind to determine what's the next step. If we don't
Yeah.
have that clear mind, then we're just panicking. We're like, what do we do? It's like what I call squirrel syndrome. It's like we're looking for every little thing, right? And the second thing is what you said is clear the clutter in your brain. And so for a physiological effect, our brain actually has something called a glymphatic system, and that's like the
Mm,
sewage system in our brain. And now, just based on what you said, we can actually, clean our brain, manually by
yeah.
meditating, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. Wow. Very true. It's so true. And that is correct, because at this time with this pandemic, which is a global aspect happening everywhere around us, we can use the the body is in such a stress response. So everyone is in this collective fright, or we just want to run, but we can't run because we're being asked to stay at home and to
Yeah.
self-isolate. So everyone is feeling stress in a different way. So we're not feeling stress in the sense that we're running and got all this to do, like the glorification of busyness. We're now stressed because there's a fear of danger somewhere around us collectively, and also because we're doing something we're not familiar with, which is to stay and be within within a space. So what we do know, and the stress response, we have this sense of danger, so our heartbeat starts to beat rapidly. So
Mhm.
that's not us feeling in a relaxed state. We have this sense of fear, this emotion, sometimes irrational, like the idea of going to the supermarket and buying a lot of things because we see other people doing it because we're not thinking clearer. This fear of not having enough as well, which is can happen with the economic burden that happens because we may have lost our work, or our work is uncertain for a time frame. And what happens is that our hormones start to secrete that we are in a great sense of danger. And that means we start to lack sleep. We start to not eat properly. We start to be jittery. Our nervous system starts to feel quite fried. And so we go into this deep state of fatigue and exhaustion after we've gone through this emotional, intense crisis experience through our nervous system and stress. And our immune system is lowered because of that, because our cortisol levels, or in our brain, the amygdala, this part of the brain, starts firing that danger, danger, danger,
Yeah.
danger. So we can't exist in this state. We need to learn how to move from this sympathetic nervous system response of run to, okay, how am I going to feel safe? How am I going to lower my heart rate? How am I going to be able to sleep well, eat well in order to maintain my immune function, which is more of the parasympathetic nervous system response. And this is where meditation is going to help you find that key to be able to take your body from that bombardment, which is going to continue. And we'll be able to have the skill to go, okay, I can sit down now. I'm going to do a 3-minute meditation, or I might do a 9-minute meditation tonight because I feel like I need a little bit more time for a little bit more calmness in my life before I go to bed. And then when I go to bed that night, I know I've done something so I could sleep well and know that my organs are being restored to their functioning, that they're not held in this space of tense. And when our body is in that stress response, our muscles also respond. So if you've been coming in for acupuncture for pain, or if you have an autoimmune condition, this is going to spiral your health into a downward spiral. So we need to find a way where we can get a little bit more control, or a sense of security with what we can maintain in ourselves. And we can maintain our own health. We can have control of our own health, and we can do that through meditation, switching it from a sympathetic stress response to a parasympathetic rest and digest and relax and restore response. Definitely.
Yeah, and you mentioned again, it's just like it could be a 3-minute meditation, and
Mm-hmm.
so it's like it reminded me when you said that. It's like it used to be like when you like the fitness industry, the workout, and everybody recommends 30 minutes to an hour,
Yes.
and then people started creating these 10-minute workouts,
Yeah.
15-minute workouts, and they work, you know,
Yeah.
because you're just really focused. When you focus on one thing, you can actually generate so much results. And it's very encouraging to hear that, again, like especially type A personality people, if they think that, oh man, I gotta block out 30 minutes of my time and sit down and do nothing. Do you know how many texts I could answer, how many emails I could answer, how much I could do? And it's just like, because of that, they get overwhelmed, and then they never do the meditation. But now, it sounds like you've created a program where you can do a meditation in just 3 minutes, and we can
Mm-hmm.
just recharge, clear our brain. And actually, if we can do that, then we can actually be more productive in our life, if we can if it just takes 3 minutes to meditate.
Absolutely. And I'm going to be demonstrating some techniques that I hope that you will be able to take with you. Like when everything opens up again, like when the
Yeah.
world, I want this period of time where people are in this time of isolation to grow and experience new skills, so that then they can take this back into their lives when everything opens up. And when they feel that sense of stress again, automatically their body goes, oh, I can do this breath. And if I do this type of breath for a couple of minutes, I'm going to just sort of shut the door to my office, do this breath for 3 minutes and open the door. Then I know that I can shift my whole sense of thinking. The thoughts that are coming to mind, I can shift the way that attention is being held in my body, so I don't get a stress headache, all those kind of things. So it becomes ingrained into part of who you are, which I think, practicing meditation for so long now, that's how my life has adapted as well. Like for myself personally, every day I just do 11-minute meditation. I get my iPhone out, I wake up in the morning, get my iPhone out, I put in 11 minutes on the timer, sit down, I do the breathing meditation, and my mind goes from going, I've got to go all these things done today, this is what I have to get done, to suddenly like, I feel this sense of clarity. I feel like I've done my work in the sense that I've actually gave myself some time. I've started my day by giving something that I need, and I feel so calm. And I just sit there for 1 minute after my meditation, sometimes none, depending how busy I am. And I feel like, that feels good. Okay, now I'm ready to go and meet the world with whatever
Yeah.
happens. And
Nice.
that's 11 minutes. I think, I'm not saying that we have to do 11 minutes straight away, but we start with 3 minutes. A 3-minute reset is going to be so beneficial. And
Yeah.
after a while, your body is going to start to crave this.
Hmm.
So it's like acupuncture, I think, in
Yeah.
many ways. When people go for acupuncture for the first time, and you get to see, they suddenly start to learn, this is how I can be like. This is how I can start to feel, I can feel quite good. I don't know what's quite happened, but I know that after acupuncture, I sleep well. I feel just, so they know something has shifted in them. And I think with meditation, your body starts to crave that sense of relaxation, because our body has forgotten what does it feel like to not have stress in our life. And it's not as if stress is ever going to go away. Stress is a normal aspect of our day-to-day living, but we can manage how we respond to that stress. And over time, this we call this a pulsing effect, where we are stressed and relaxed, stressed and relaxed, stressed and relaxed. It's like a tenacity that's happening through our system, which is like the rhythm of life in itself, that things are going to get crazy, and then we induce a sense of rest after it. So that's why we sleep every day, like yang, we're doing activity. And then at night, we have the yin, we have that moment to rest. So we begin to pulse this rhythm through our life between activity and rest. And we begin to understand why this is important for the longevity and for our well-being and our sense of how we feel every day.
I like the pulsing. So can you elaborate, like, so is there a set type of pulsing? If you're saying pulsing, is there a set type of rhythm that we're trying to achieve when we're doing meditation?
I would say a little bit, like if we start to sit, there's something happens to the brain. So if I go back to the thought waves of the brain.
Yeah.
So in some meditations, when you first sit down, you're going to fight it.
Yeah.
Like for some people, it's normal to start going, this is dumb. This is stupid. I really should be doing this. Yeah. And like, I don't know. Someone said I'm supposed to be still. Why am I sitting here? Oh my goodness, I've got to cook dinner. Oh, I'm so hungry. What am I going to have for dinner? I'm going to have tomatoes. What have I got in the pantry? Oh, I've got some tinned tomatoes or something like that. And then it's like, then it goes, oh, I can't wait that TV show. And then it'll be like, oh yeah, what happened to that person in 12th grade that fell over? Did they get better? So, this is a natural process that happens when you start to sit down. Like you get bored, you get frustrated, you start to have emotions come up. And often it's like, oh, I don't like that emotion. Or sometimes people feel like we're running away from sadness. We don't even want to acknowledge that we feel sad, or we don't want to acknowledge where we are in life, that we may be unhappy. It may be that we might be thinking random thoughts because our brain is like a memory bank. Yeah. So we still need to process everything that we see, hear, and do every day. And so it's supposed to happen in our sleep, but sometimes it carries over in our day-to-day. We call this the subconscious mind. And meditation is supposed to help with the subconscious mind. So when we first sit down in meditation, it's normal to think, this is boring. This is awful. Why am I torturing myself? I hate this. I hate this person. I feel angry. Why is the world like this? Okay, so it goes from this complete chatter state of the brain. And the meditations that I demonstrate are more breathing meditations. So then the breath begins to slow down. And when our breath starts to slow down, then the brain starts to sort of follow the rhythm of the breath. So sometimes I'll do a fast breath, and sometimes I'll do a slow breath. And so there'll be different variations of the breath depending on the meditation that I'm going to demonstrate in these videos. And you'll have a different effect with your brain. But the whole idea at the end of it, even for a moment, it's usually in the last 10 seconds, you'll feel like a sense of, and it all goes very still. And then the timer will go off and you're like, oh, it's done. And the thing is, people get very attached to that little 10-second window. They feel that 10-second window, that they feel they want to stretch it like it's meant to be that stillness. But the idea is like, even if you get a glimpse of that 10-second window, you're done. You've done it. It's fantastic. You've received the effect already. It's not about the longevity or how long that stillness lasts for. It's just about that moment. You've trained your brain for a moment, that glimpse of stillness, and that is all you need.
Wow. Yeah, I actually did not know that. I had the I guess the what's generally known as meditation. It has to be the whole time, and you have to have that stillness for a certain amount of time. So that was actually very enlightening. I'm taking a lot of notes here. And so one of the things that you said was uh, a new normal, right? A
Yes.
new normal. And that's, I mean, it does play hand in hand with acupuncture, because
Yes.
it's like if I use an analogy of someone that's trying to quit smoking, someone
Hmm.
who's quit smoking, their body is their normal is having nicotine every single day. And then when they
Mm.
remove that, the reason why quit smoking is so hard to do is because when they remove that nicotine, then the body is like, oh no, it's freaking out because it's used to having so much of that nicotine, right? So it goes
Yep.
to withdrawal symptoms, and our patients start to feel, all these symptoms, irritability, anxiety, insomnia, blah blah blah. And actually, that is exactly what you said. Is like in meditation, we have that because our normal is stress. We have clutter. It's all in our brain, and that's just our normal life. And so, really, meditation is kind of like getting us not as addicted to that stress. If
Yes.
it, right? It's just like
Correct.
the nicotine person. It's like
Yes.
our body is, even though nicotine is bad for us, but we still crave it, right? I mean, for people who
Hmm.
smoke, and same with stress, with negativity, with too much motion. Our bodies are used to it, and we programmed our brain to set that as the new normal. And so, using meditation, we can actually establish a new normal that is with less stress, less negativity, so that our body can actually, like what you were saying, go from that sympathetic mode to the parasympathetic mode. Um, and yeah, sometimes just am I correct? That's what I'm hearing from you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I think that's the first step of meditation is definitely getting used to not getting the body, the physiological effects, and
Yeah.
feeling afterwards the physiological effects of feeling, oh, I feel different. I feel more relaxed. Or I feel calm, and I can navigate life from that state rather than navigating life through respond, react, respond, which is more like putting fires out in your life. You're actually going, oh, I can see these fires. Mm-hmm. Yep, I can see that's going on. Okay, this is how I'm going to respond. And it's going to flow seamlessly. Like, this is what's going to happen. You're more directive in that sense. And you won't even recognize yourself in some respects because suddenly you've cleared the stress response and you're allowing the clarity to come through from um, a more perspective aspect of yourself,
Hmm.
a space that comes from assessment that is looking out into the future rather than an aspect of yourself that's just responding in the immediate factor, if that makes sense. Mm.
Yeah, actually, that was there's just from what you just said right there.
Mm.
Um, Sending our brain into less of a reactive mode and
Yes,
more into a proactive mode.
correct.
When you're proactive, you actually have more control of your situation, right? Now, whatever's going on, I mean, you can't control anything that's happening around you, but you can control the way you respond to that. And meditation can help us be more proactive instead of being reactive and like you said, putting out fires all the time. I mean, that gets
Mm.
tiring very easily, right?
Mm. Yeah.
And so another
Yes.
thing also that you said was really good was the way we process data. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
everybody knows stress hurts the body in the physical
Mm-hmm.
sense, right?
Mm.
Stress can cause so many problems. It can cause cancer, cause fibroids, cause pain,
Mm.
everything, fibromyalgia,
Yes.
gut issues. But it's so, I mean, we all know that, but it's like, how do we control it? How do we, control stress? Because we're always going to have stress because we live in a world. But I like to tell my patients is, okay, it's all about processing data differently. It's like it's how you process the data, all the stress, all the negativity that's coming to you. How does your brain process it will determine if it stresses your physical body or not. And I didn't really have a tool to help my patients, and besides just telling them, you just got to start thinking differently. You got to think of it
Mm.
differently. But now it's like with meditation, I can actually use this for my patients and tell them, look, this is something that you can practice, you can do on a daily basis, just like you need to exercise your physical body, you need to exercise your mind, right? Exercise your mind in how to control and process data differently so that you become in control and you're more proactive instead of reactive. Is that right?
Yeah, you summarized it beautifully.
Okay.
Summarized it amazingly. Additionally, the meditations that I'm going to share, the 3-minute ones, are going to be also related to breathing.
Nice.
And the breath is really important. So not only is the mind and the thought waves of the mind going to shift, how we hack into the nervous system, you could say,
Yeah.
is that we use the breath. And one of the things, some interesting research is coming out a lot now, particularly through yoga and breathing meditations, is, and also with a lot of people who are gut health, really into gut health, is the vagal nerve, the vagus nerve.
Yes.
And the vagal tone. So this is a network of a network of our nervous system that feeds from the brain. And we know it has the ability to go through the eyes. It reaches around the lips and the tongue. It's part of the vagal network, and then down to the throat and into our heart, and it reaches down into our digestive system and all the way down to the digestive system. So when we are breathing, we are actually triggering, or stimulating, I should say, or activating this vagal network so that we can override whatever feelings are coming from the brain bombarding our heart. We're utilizing the breath to trigger the heart to slow down, because our breath will follow where our breath is going, and then that has a response to the brain, and that's going to benefit your gut, and that's going to benefit the nervous system. It's going to benefit the immune system. So the breath work is really important.
Awesome. So, and you mentioned that you're going to actually, you're creating a meditation training that's going to be free for everybody.
Yes.
It can be, you're going to start off with 3 minutes. So tell me a little bit about, okay, we're going to give the link for all of y'all who are viewing this. We'll give you the link of where to find this free training. So this is something that you're going to be doing, right?
Correct. I've been teaching a lot of these meditations in a face-to-face format in a class for a long time.
Yeah.
And now I'm going online because I can see that people really need this.
Yes.
This is the time that we all need to collective work together to help our community.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to start with 3-minute meditations, and they are very easy to do. I'm going to instruct you, talk a little bit about meditation, and then we do it together. And they can be involving with hands are placed in a certain way. You can do them anywhere. You can do them in your lounge room. You can do it sitting on your bed. You just need access to YouTube. It'll be on a YouTube channel, and there'll be a new meditation, one every couple of days.
Nice.
And this will give you a chance to begin to experience what I have been talking to you about, of how it can be beneficial. And I've already shared some of these meditations with my patients in the last week, because as the situation has been escalating, we're a couple of weeks behind from the States, but as the situation has been escalating, I can see in my clinic how the patients are very agitated, very nervous. And I immediately last weekend, I said, I've got to make this meditation, and I've got to share it with the patients in my local community. And already people were ringing me and were saying, oh, I did your meditation and it really helped me. People who had never even thought of doing any meditation have thought, anything that can help me right now, and they felt it has benefited them a great deal. So I'm going to continue to share little 3-minute meditations so that we can all begin to receive this benefit of feeling a lot calmer in these intense, chaotic times.
Yeah, and I definitely appreciate you opening up your knowledge to share with the world, and not just to your local community, but to the world, because we do definitely need it. And yeah, so I know many people can go onto YouTube and they can or Google meditation, and there's so many different meditation videos. One thing that I know for even from my perspective is, the meditation that Melissa is going to teach you is not something that is theory. It's not going to be theory based. it's like she said, it's the meditation that she actually teaches to her patients face to face in her community, and has shown some phenomenal results. And she is thankfully she is willing to share that with us, and we can take a part of that and utilize that. So thank you, Melissa, for being open to sharing your knowledge with us.
Oh, you're welcome. This is why we're all here. We're here to work together collectively. We're all going through the same issues in each of our community, but now's the time that we expand and help as many people as possible through this, through the knowledge and the gifts that we've been studying ourselves, that we know it works. We know it works. It's worked for me in my life personally. So it's only that I wish to share it with others, because I know that this effect will have a long-lasting effect on your health, on your immune system, your nervous system, and people around you will notice it. They'll go, oh, something's changed. And it's just because you've been practicing a 3-minute meditation.
Nice. And so Melissa has the same views as I do, and we are both focused on empowering our community, our patients, on what they can do at home, right?
Yes.
What they can do for
Very
themselves. We're not trying to be another Band-Aid for, our community. We want to empower our community so that they have the tools necessary to take care of their own health, both mind and body, but also to be able to pay it forward and teach their friends and family. And that's what true healing is about teaching someone so that they can pay it forward. And so Melissa and I are definitely on the same page when we're talking about that.
I agree. It's a ripple effect. The
Yes.
healthier we can create this sense within our immediate, like our patients, their patients' family, their families. It's about building a healthier community around you.
Yes.
And that everyone begins to live and thrive, and it's contagious in a positive way.
Yes, it is. All right. So Melissa, thank you for spending some time and chatting about meditation. I definitely myself, even being an acupuncturist and Chinese medicine practitioner, I took a ton of notes, and I learned quite a bit about meditation that I have never knew about. So definitely appreciate that. And for the viewers, we're going to post her YouTube channel link. That's where you're going to get the free training. So definitely take advantage of that. I'm definitely going to take advantage of it, since I know now I only need 3 minutes to do it.
Yes,
I don't have to block out 30 minutes. I can do it in 3 minutes. So nice. Melissa, any last words?
Just, do the meditation, practice breathing, practice long, deep breathing, observe your thoughts. If you have any questions, please ask me. If you're not sure anything, I'm happy to clarify. I'm just here to serve you and make everyone feel healthier and more connected to themselves. Thank you, Jimmy, for this amazing opportunity. I wish you all well.
Thank you. All right.